All right, so let's shift gears now for a second to another story. A very emotional story. I got a chance to listen to this entire interview. Our WCNC Charlotte's Jesse Pierre covered this, and it's a story of survival. Uh, and it takes a new meaning when you hear from these women. Two sisters, they're spreading awareness about domestic violence after they survived a brutal attack by their father. Now, back in 1995, he shot the two of them along with another sister, killing her. Today, or I should say Friday, he was released from prison 30 years since the shooting. WCNC Charlotte's Jesse Pierre sat down with those sisters and shares how they are working to overcome this tragedy. And we wanted to give you this full interview because it's such a gripping story. And again, this is a story of survival, and this is a emotional interview here. So let's take a listen into that interview.
We'll just kind of take it from the beginning. 1995, kind of just talk to us, being in your home, which is supposed to be your safe space. You had family, other siblings there, and so forth. And I guess what happened?
Oh, goodness. Total nightmare that we wasn't even prepared for at all. And just coming into the household after we were sent away by Willie to go to the library. And this was an ongoing domestic violence situation where he would abuse our biological mother, Sheila, and in the worst way, was stomping on the head with his very, like strong, heavy boots, and stomp on the head, and broke her bones, broke her nose, and so many other things. But long story short, it just, as we got older or whatever, he wanted to take that same control over us, us children. And she had 9 of us, and a lot of that had to do with rape. He's been raping young women and the ones that don't know any better since he was a teenager. So he's obsessed with that, as well as obsessed with guns. And he shot a guy when I was we were very young, younger than 3. And he jumped bail because he was supposed to do prison time, and this happened in New Jersey. And he escaped here. It was hiding out all that time since. He never came outside the house. And my biological mom, even though he was beating her so bad, she still stood by his side. And because of that, he took out his rage on us. So it's we did nothing to deserve what he did to us. It's just that he was a very controlling, just a horrible person, and didn't even care and treated us like he was our father. He was just using us. And that's, the part that I didn't understand, and none of our family understood.
Can you take us back to, and what month in 1995 was this?
February 8th.
February 8th. Can you take us back to what happened that day and so forth?
Rasheedah.
Okay. On February 8th, 1995, we had arrived home from the library. It was a cold day, and when we arrived there, we was told to, he was standing behind the door, and we was told to keep our jackets and stuff on. And
We thought that was weird.
Yeah, we thought that that was strange for him to say something of that nature. And then as we got there, we was told to go wash our hands, and when he told us to do that, we went to go do what he asked us to. And then our younger sister, Aquila, he started like really messing with her in particular on that day when he told her to go wash her hands. I can't remember all what was said that particular day.
Yeah, just
because
that he was
yeah.
he was telling us that, you know, look how how bloody his teeth are, and that he can't go into a dentist, and he was just saying that, you know, we don't understand what it's like to be older and have a problem with your teeth, and he spit. He was like, I'm going to give you an example, and he spit out, you know, the blood that is coming from his teeth, and that grossed her out, and Aquila grossed her out, and she just was turning away. He was like, don't turn away, look, you know, look at it, and everything. He's like, I really need to get my teeth fixed. So that's what kind of led up to him kind of jumping on her. And we had our jackets on. Like, why we have our jackets on? You always tell us to take it off when we're at home. And so he was sitting down arguing with her, and she was just basically just asking why you so, you know, mean to us three, and next thing you know,
Yeah.
you could you know, tell the rest.
Okay. Yes. After that, when he was telling her, he told her to wash her hands. Sis, correct me if I'm wrong or anything. And she washed her hands. She did what he told her to do at that moment, and then he was still picking on her, I think, about that time.
Yeah, but it just after that, basically he had her and us, you know, kind of sit down. But I just went straight to wash the dishes, cause I was like, I don't want to deal with this anymore, you know, because he just kept harping on us, and it's bothering us, cause it was like a control thing, like he just couldn't let go. He wanted us for himself, you know, and he see that as we was older, teenagers and stuff like that, that we were gonna run away, you know, or something, you know, because the other siblings did run away. And
So you guys are in the house. There was a family dispute, just him kind of picking at the kids and so forth.
Yeah.
So when did it turn to the next level where he went and got a gun?
yeah, that's well,
He had
actually,
it,
that's the thing. He had the gun in his back pocket, but he had a shirt that was covering it, and so after he, you know, was messing with her, that she got upset, and then she started, you know, telling him that I just don't understand, you know, and next thing you know, he just reached behind the back of his pocket, and I could see from where I was at, and he actually pulled out this gun and started shooting her, and I just turned my head away from that, but the sound of the gun being shot, it was just so super loud. So everybody in the neighborhood was hearing it and started calling the police. And after, you know, he shot.
I could take over that part. See, just my memory, like I tried to
You don't
put
have
a
to
lot of
explain.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you don't
okay,
have to
all right.
explain anything.
Yeah,
So he shoots
yeah, when he
your
shot her,
sister.
shot
How
her
old
in the
was
head.
Around 14.
She was
14.
14 years old. So he shoots your sister. And what's her full name?
Aquila Roberts.
Aquila Roberts. 14 years old. He shoots her, and then what does he
And
do?
then after he shot her, it was like 2 shots was at the wall, and my sister got up. I think she got up and she ended up over there by the furnace. And then like after he shot her, I just got up and went to the door. It was a door here on the right side. I get up, go to the door, and when I went to the door, opened the door, and then I seen him coming towards me. And then when I saw him coming towards me, I was like, maybe I just should close the door because he's mad I'm trying to get out. So shut the door back. And then when I shut the door, something told me, I went over here by the couch. It was this big old couch. I did this, like, on the back of the couch, went down like this, put hand over, my face like this. And then I said, do not shoot, please don't shoot me. And then he shot at me twice. Obviously the bullet, when he shot at me twice, got stuck here, one bullet, and then the other bullet must have just went past and glazed my left nostril, because this part was damaged. And then after he did that, he turned away. When he turned away, something said, get up and run. And then I got up, ran upstairs, and then our baby brother, I didn't realize he was behind me. He ran up.
He was on
stairs,
the 10.
Yeah, after me, behind me. And we ran in one of the rooms over there to the left, locked the door. If it wasn't for my brother, I don't know if I would have been able to get out because this hand was, already damaged for him shooting me. So baby brother helps me to get the window up. He and I jumped, because they had the roof, top of the roof, and then we jumped down. From there, he and I ran all the way to the fire department, and then we notified them.
And then
I don't know what else happened after that.
Oh yeah, I didn't know that because when he shot Aquila, I turned my head away, and I was going to run out the back door, and I didn't realize that he was shooting Rasheedah, after he had shot, her, shot Aquila, and so. Just hearing the loud pops and stuff like that of him shooting a gun, I started running and out the back door. But then my sister Nia, she came downstairs like, "What happened? What happened?" And I was like, "He shot Aquila, and we got to get help." And she was like, "Cause I was picking up the phone." And she was like, "No, we can't call the police because that's our father." And I was like, "Well, but he's gonna come after me." And she was like, "No, he's not." And after that, she, left to go back, I guess, upstairs. And the next thing I know, after she left, he came in with a gun ready and pointed with like this smirk, a devilish smirk on his face. And I was like, "Please don't do this. I didn't do anything. Please, Dad." And I will never come out and be like Dad. He was to call him Musa. And so I was like begging for my life, and I see that he wasn't gonna put the gun down. So I started taking off running because I had the back door open, and so it was a screen door that I had to push through to get out. And next thing you know, glass started, hitting and shattering on the floor the ground around me. He was trying to execute me by shooting me in my head because he shot her in her face and stuff. So he knew that by shooting us in our head that would actually kill you. But there were steps on the outside of the apartment, and I had to jump over those steps. So when I jumped up because you said it for my head, but with me jumping up, it got me like in my spine in the back. And next thing I know, I was just passing out, you know, because I ran over the steps, jumped over it, and that's all I remember is I knew I was hitting the ground, and he got me in my spine, which knocked me out. And next thing I knew, I was in the hospital, and I couldn't move anything.
And you were 18 years old?
Yes,
You
I
were
was
16.
18.
You know, kind of talk to me about the physical damages, and then, you know, I know your sister, she lost her life and so forth. Talk to me about what happened as far as like the damage left from the shooting.
Oh yeah, my family, after I spoke with them, they told me that, you know, I was laying on the ground. That one of the neighbors asked, like, you know, what happened to you, and they said I said that my father had shot me, and they were, I guess I'm pretty sure, afraid like he would come after them or whatever. But I knew that basically the way that I would be able to survive would be to get out that house, because as long as I was inside the apartment, you know, I know that he would be able to do anything he wanted to do. But he was hiding out for so long. He thought that people didn't know that he was there.
Let me ask you this. You know, what went through your mind learning after being in the hospital that you were paralyzed from the waist down? How did that change your life?
Oh my God, I was going through so much hell, you know, physically at that time, and when I woke up and couldn't move other than like my shoulders a little bit like that. I was like, oh my God, you know, I really am not able to move. And so what I was thinking all the time, you know, or I kept having visions, and I was having like, you know, like thoughts that would come into my mind or whatever. Basically, it just felt like it was from God that was telling me that something eventually was going to happen to you. And this was since I was very young. And I was just getting these premonitions from time to time saying something was going to happen to me and I wasn't going to be physically the same. And it actually happened. When it happened, I was like waking up from the hospital, and I was like, oh, so I really did have something happen, and I survived it, like my premonition said, you know. So
what did your father take away from you?
Oh, he took everything away because I know that the law doesn't see that, you know, me being shot by him, that I wasn't, you know, like, you know, damaged in any other way. I'd be paralyzed, but sure, you know, that's something minimum. It's not minimum because I feel like, you know, he actually did. He murdered me as well, you know, because I don't feel like the Jamillah that I was, because I'm not her. You know, in a sense, because, yeah, I have her mind, but my body is not the same at all. You know, because I have so much paralysis, basically from my waist down. And I can't do anything, you know, without help, you know, from somebody.
No, okay.
Yeah, I can't do anything because I can't even move, you know, like grip with my hands. I have to have help to be dressed, and it's hard because, you know, if I drop something, somebody had to have somebody around to, you know, pick it up. My life was never like that. I was normal. I was born, you know, normal, you know, like, excuse me, like not normal, but I was physically able to move around, like supposed to, and how I was, because I was born, without any medical issues at all, and then be turned into this quadriplegic that can't even move. I mean, that hurt so bad, and I was like, I don't know why he did this, and and murder my sister. I was messed up really, really bad, and I still tried to, keep on and live the life that I'm left with, but it honestly it's not easy at all, one bit. People that are not in my shoes don't even understand, how horrible it is, and how I keep a mask on my face, showing that, smiling to people, and, and speaking to people and stuff like that. But, speaking in a positive way to people, but I'm hurting inside. I'm just so angry, and and I try to keep the tears back, and it's not easy at all. And I just wish that this wasn't my life, but the choice was made by him, and the jealousy, and and he did rape a couple of my sisters and stuff, at a very young age.
Rasheedah, let me ask you this. What did he take away from you?
My mental health. I struggle mentally with my mental health due to what they diagnosed with PTSD, severe depression. I have had anxiety, panic attacks, you name it.
Knowing that your sister was gone, what?
Yeah.
Where did that take you?
It didn't feel real. You know how you see things in movies? People, dying in movies and stuff like that. Never really was able to, before that time, experience death of a loved one. I couldn't believe it. It hurt me so bad. Yeah.
And your father has been in jail since 1995. He was arrested.
Yeah, he was arrested and was in an institute for the criminally insane. And
then was transferred to prison.
He was deemed as not able to stand trial, at that time because of his mental issues. And so they, gave him medications and whatever that they do in prison, So he escaped the fact that he wasn't going straight to prison, because of that, decision that they made. And
Got it. So he was in a mental health institution first, and then he was transferred to prison.
yes.
Got it. So since 19...
All right, so that was Jesse Pierre's full interview with two sisters. Went through a very traumatic incident back 30 years ago. Charlotte's sister speaking out after the father was released Friday from prison after serving 30 years after the shooting. Jamillah Roberts and Rasheedah Paige survived the 1995 family tragedy, and now they're raising awareness and raising their voices. You can catch that full that story, at least that full story on our website right now on WCNC.com. Again, a very emotional interview there.